Hello, everybody. I was instructed to come on stage so that our follow spot operator could pick me up. It's a very awkward position to be in. Welcome, everybody, to the Light Lab final. A lot of you have been here before. For those of you who haven't, I'll give you a brief overview about what we're doing here, what we're trying to accomplish, the lead up to how this event gets created every year. And first and foremost, I really have to thank Josh Karp and PRG Lighting for supporting this event. I mean, without their support, not only for this, but for so many things that we do here, we'd be a very different place. They've been incredible in terms of supporting the education of our students. And also, I'm going to talk about these judges momentarily, but the fact that they're taking probably one of their few days off to come here in the rain and see the work of these students is amazing, and I'm really, really grateful. So today, this is the culmination of really a year's worth of work with these students. They've all been in this class, which meets every Monday. It's called Advanced Light Lab. I don't know if it's always advanced, but it's a light lab. And basically, the students, they're laughing, right? It's not always advanced. Every week, the students are tasked with creating something using a very limited toolkit, a vocabulary of lighting equipment. It could be that they're lighting a work of art, or reproducing the light from a work of art, or lighting an excerpt from a play or a musical, or creating the light for some kind of storytelling event. But whatever the task is, they each conceive of the work, and using a limited vocabulary, they make something that is critiqued not only by the whoever the visiting artist may be and the faculty, but also the students. So it's an opportunity for our young artists to learn all about the medium of light, how to manipulate it to achieve creative objectives, but it's also, it teaches them how to look at work and apply their analytical sense to what they're seeing, which is equally important. Not only to make the work, but to look at something and understand what you need to do to fix it. I know I don't have to tell my colleagues how important that is for the work that we do. So that's what we do every year. So at the end of the year, we decide that the idea is that we expand the toolkit exponentially, hopefully not too exponentially, but we give the students to work on a much larger canvas, meaning VJM theater. We assign the 16 members of the class into 4 groups. They each select a music selection of their choice, usually 2 to 3 minutes long. They work with a professional programmer, which this time it's Alyssa Eilbott, who's been fantastic. And they build a 3D model, a virtual model of VJM with the entire lighting rig in virtual space, and pre-visualize, essentially light the piece in a virtual environment. They have an hour and a half to do that, and then they have another hour and a half in this room with Alyssa to actually look at the work on stage, and before that it's presented to this group here. There's a lot, if you look at the program, you'll see that the lighting designers are collaborating with members of the greater theater community, stage managers, costume designers, anybody else that I've missed? Somebody? Choreographers. So it's become more than just a lighting department event. This is an opportunity for the community to get together and celebrate each other's work, which has become a very exciting aspect of this event every semester. And the final component, which I mentioned briefly, is that they make all this work, they get it together, they're going to present it today, and then I ask friends and colleagues from the community to come and evaluate what they're seeing and offer their support, their comments, their constructive criticism. And today we have Ken Posner. who is a regular visitor to our classes, I must add, and Bradley King, who also has participated in many events and is a Tony nominee for the 2024 season. Mike Baldessari, who's a great friend and a great lighting designer as well, Reza Bejat. And we're expecting 2 more people who I think they're kind of delayed because of traffic or whatever. Yuki Nakasi, who is an amazing lighting designer who used to assist me a while ago, and Jessica Krieger. Hopefully they'll both get here because it would be great to hear their voices as well. And did I leave anything out? What? Oh, yes. Yes, Pablo, right? Pablo Garcia is here from the film department. Why is the film department here? Well, there's a live broadcast or webcast of this event for people who can't be here, and so there's video switching, video streaming involved, so cameras, etc. So all of that is a collaboration with the film program. Thank you for reminding me about that. So I think the way this is going to work today is we'll ask each group to introduce themselves. They'll talk a little bit about what the piece is, give you a bit of context about the piece, how it's being performed, how it was conceived in terms of the lighting, and then we'll look at the piece. The judges will have a chance to ask questions, to weigh in, and then we'll look at it again. And then following that, I'm going to ask Alyssa, to talk about her process with the design teams, how they interacted with their programmer, because that's very important to us. The collaboration between lighting designer and programmer is key, especially now in the era we're working in, and that's one of the big objectives of this whole event, is for the young lighting designers to get an opportunity to work with someone who is a collaborator, not a deep collaborator and contributor to the work that we do. I think that's everything. So first I'm going to ask Jack, I think, who's one of the production electricians, to walk through the lighting rig so everybody can see the tools of the trade, so to speak. And the only other thing I wanted to mention before we get started is I really wanted to thank the actors and the stage managers and the costume designers and everybody in the theater community who is here today, parents, friends, alumni, for coming out and supporting the work of these students. It's so important. Thank you.
All right, hello. I'm Jack, one of the production electricians, along with Riley, who just ran the follow spot. And we're going to give you a quick run through of all the tools in our rig this year. So starting off with the overhead PRG Best Boy LED spots. They have a lot of features, CMY color mixing. They have gobos. They obviously move. Every light in the rig moves except for the strip lights. But yeah, so these are the PRG Best Boys. They have a lot of fun gobos. We also have 4 of these on the deck as low side lights. And then we also have a set of Verilight 3500 wash fixtures, which are very bright. They're old, yeah. One of them like blew up during our testing this week, so it was fun. Yeah, they're very bright and they're very old. Do you have anything to say about them, Don?
I've been with them many times.
All right. What? They are one of Don's favorite lights. Then we have a pipe of Mac quantum washes, Martin Mac quantum washes that have very wide zoom range. This pipe, the quantum washes, and the GLP FR10s that we're going to get to next are both variable trim, so the groups set them to different heights based on what they want in their piece. Yeah, they do some fun beam effects where they can split the beam and stuff, which is pretty unique for a wash light. And yeah, so then we have the FR10 bars, which are the moving linear strip lights. So they create this really beautiful curtain of light. They can zoom in and out, change colors. Yeah. Audience blinders too. Then we have a set of Martin Mac auras overhead. Oh, and yeah, they do some cool things. Thank you, Alyssa. That's very cool. Do more fun stuff. Yeah, these are the Martin Mac auras, moving wash fixtures overhead. They're pretty similar in terms of in the quantum washes in terms of features, just smaller. More agile, yes. And then we have a row of clay packy mythos on the deck. They get very, very narrow, which is nice also. And they have a lot of cool gobos, colors, everything. Yeah, they spin their gobos, everything. And they also have, actually, I don't know, is there anything interesting?
I mean, they have gobos,
Yeah. They can go into a wash fixture with a diffusion lens, so they can get sharp or wash. And then there's also a row of GLP fusion sticks against the back wall for uplighting the wall. So we have a nice row of strip lights to light the wall. And then finally, we have, new this year, we have footlights. Solaris Flare Razor footlights. So they're LED pixel controllable footlights that are very bright, very saturated. So, and then we also have two Roby T1 follow spots with PRG ground control controllers in the front of house as our follow spots. I don't know where they're pointed right now. They're over there, I guess. House special. But
Can you tell the audience who are not lighting designers what it means? What is ground control?
sure. So ground control is this device over here, which has a camera attached to the follow spot, so I can move it around by just moving this large follow spot shaped screen, basically. And it controls the follow spot on stage, so we don't have to send a person up there. And that is the rig for this year.
And what Jack didn't mention is that this entire rig, everything you see installed here, of course, it was given to us by PRG, but the students did all the work. They were the production electricians, the crew. They did all the planning. This is all student produced, everything you see here. So very impressive job getting this rig up in a day and a half and making it all work. So kudos to everybody. Okay, so let's get the first group up, I guess. Do you guys have programs? Everybody got programs? I don't have a program. I guess I need one.
Over there. I can go grab it.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
And like a really, like I said, boisterous and joyful place to be at the end of the act.
You guys have any questions, comments?
Hello. Hi, guys. I'm Mike Baldessari. Here's something I would say. You picked like a rock and roll anthem. It needs to feel like a rock and roll anthem. You know, like you can't go too big. So, and there's no reason for this kind of music to be timid. You really want to go for it. And the one thing I would say also, because it's straight ahead rock and roll, right? Verse, chorus, etc. You don't need to do as many different cues. You can, and especially given the amount of time that you had, which was not a lot, you know, and I'll say even, I always tell people, you need an hour and a half to 2 hours for every minute for a programming time. That's, you know, when I'm gauging something, when we're trying to program, etc. So you didn't have a lot of time, but one of the things to look for is like, okay, what's the repeats? Right, so your verse cue, you could repeat that, and maybe you add to it, and you kind of layer it in. But that's one thing that I thought was a little bit missing, was it's straight ahead rock and roll, right? It's not an orchestral piece where it's constantly changing. There's verses and choruses, and then there's a bridge, and you want to do something different, and so anyway, I only mean that as constructive. It's an amazing amount of work that you did in really no time. So you should, and also collaborating with a bunch of designers is not an easy thing. So kudos to you for that. You guys want to?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ken Posner, a friend of Michael's. All these guys, actually. Just one second. Well done. You know, the challenge here is, and the challenge that we all have to work with is absolutely time. But I agree with Michael. It just didn't lift off, and especially, you know, in a black box where you are in charge of the architecture of the air. I thought the structure was good, but I really felt like with these tools in the toolbox that this really should have exploded. You know, and I agree with Michael just in terms of, you know, there is because it sort of is, there is a formula to this, and there's certainly a formula to this when you had to do it quickly. There's no reason not to embrace that, because I think that if you had actually simplified a lot of the things, you could have become more explosive. I just think it's things to be thinking about in the future. If you're going to pick something, an iconic piece of music like this, it really has to like transport you. Did you guys happen to see Tommy in the City? Is that what inspired you to do this? Because Amanda did an amazing job with the show. It's actually incredibly well designed. So I would urge you all to go see that. You know, obviously Amanda had an out-of-town try at Chicago. She had all this time in New York City as well. I'm sure there was a lot of time spent pre-visualizing it, but it's really, really, really extremely well designed and well crafted. So I just urge you all to go see it. Go ahead.
So just real quick, like when you're building cues, if there's a power chord, get it on, that's a light cue. That's always a light cue. You know, I mean, I always joke with people, I say if there's a cymbal crash, there's a light cue. But in this kind of music, with this kind of big anthem, it's an anthem, right? It needs it every single time. And one other thing, it's the Pinball Wizard, and we lost them a lot of times. Like, it was great with starting it with the backlight and stuff like that, but I felt like they're singing about him, and then we lost him as well. You know, so again, that's where you want to, where's the audience focusing and stuff. If you're singing about the Pinball Wizard and they're dancing and singing about the person, you really want to see them.
Yeah. Hi, Bradley King, lighting. Yes to what Mike said about losing Tommy. And I think that's really important and something I'm going to be looking for with every group, be forewarned, is that everyone picked a musical theater song. And so, yeah, we're in a black box with a lot of amazing toys, but am I going to be able to follow the story of the song that you picked and the characters in the song? Because I agree. I thought it was a really incredible beginning with that low backlight, but then where is our titular pinball wizard throughout the rest of the thing? But in general, incredible work for a very short amount of time. Hit those power chords. Always, always, always.
Hi, I'm Reza Behchat. One thing that I want to mention, I heard that last electric, it's a trim height different for each piece probably, and I think you did a good job at picking a height that I can see that lighting as an element in the storytelling. That I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was higher, probably we wouldn't have got that much interaction with that strip lights. So I thought that was amazing. And yeah, echoing what everyone said about, paying attention to the music, if there's a shift in the music, so you have to respond to it. But I really enjoyed how it ended. To me, the energy took a while to sort of pick up with the music, but I think the ending with all of the effects and all of the lights started sort of, sparkling and flashing. It was very in line with the energy of the music. So great job.
Why don't we take a look at it again, and then maybe you'll have more comments. Yeah. Right.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb and blind kid so plays a mean pinball. He stands like a statue, a part of the machine. Feeling all the bumpers, always playing clean. He plays by intuition, the digit counts on small. That deaf, dumb and blind kid so plays a mean pinball. He's a pinball wizard that has to be a twist. A pinball wizard's got such a submarine. How do you think he does it? I don't know what makes him so good. He's got no distractions, can't hear those buzzers and bells. Don't see no lights flashing, he pays by sense of smell. Always gets the replay and never turns it off. That deaf, dumb and blind kid so plays a mean pinball. I thought I was the violent table king, but I just handed my pinball crown to him.
How do you think he does
I don't know.
what makes him so good?
Even at my favorite table, he can beat my best. Kids don't lead him in, and he just does the rest. He got crazy flipper fingers, never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Even at my favorite table, he can be my best. He gets all little in, and he just does the rest. He got crazy finger fingers, never see him fall. That deaf don't like it. Some plays the big pinball.
I also wanted to shout out to Gray for a great job calling.
I'll start down there.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of found a groove there in the last 8 bars. And like now that you've had a pass through it, like you figured it out there. Now what the natural next thing would be, go back to the beginning and make more of it look like that. Don't be afraid of 0 counts. Like there's so many, like all of those first beats on those measures that like listen to that drum track and listen to like how that guitar is hitting. And that is time 0, time 0, time 0, time 0. And it's a little bit hesitant there in the beginning. Like, oh, maybe, you know, it feels like you were just a little too timid in some of your cue timings. But like I agree with Reza, that like that ending like really started to find something. So good job there.
You go, and I'll go up to you.
I just wanted to say, and again, even looking at the program, you guys picked a piece that is born from rock and roll, right? The DNA of it is rock and roll. It's not musical theater, right? And how it started with Pete Townsend, and it was the first rock opera and that stuff. So that DNA is what I feel like is missing. You know, like that's the important thing. It's not a wishy-washy musical. It's born of rock and roll. So it needs to have that DNA in it. You know. And the other thing, what was really good, I agree with Bradley, getting towards the end, and there was the guitar breakdown at the end was really good. When you went to it was a red stab chase. That had the right feel. You know, and the other thing also, just really quick, you know, we're orchestrators. We orchestrate with lights, right? It just like, you know, an orchestrator might orchestrate with drums and guitars and trombones. We orchestrate with Licos, Fresnels, moving lights, etc. So when there's like a groove that you pick up with something, like a guitar groove or something like that, and if it stays in the music, it needs to stay there visually, and then you add stuff on top of it. So you don't need to always be pulling things out. Sometimes you do a bass of something, right? Like I said, like a bass groove or guitar groove or whatever, and then that should stay visually, and then you just add on top of it, right? We're orchestrators. You have to think of it like that.
I just had a question. Did you have the option of doing this on time code? Or was not? I thought
I
it was
don't think so,
well
no.
called. I'm just curious because that would give you an advantage also in terms of being able to hit all the beats that Michael and Bradley are talking about, and just laying that structure in. Because a piece like this, full blown out, full design, as Michael's suggesting, is very difficult to call. And we have that technology now. And it's difficult to call only because you can't get the numbers out of your mouth fast enough. It's not that a stage manager can't call it and absolutely hit the button, but they just can't speak fast enough, and a board operator can't push the button fast enough. So I wish, because I know that you guys are familiar with that, but was that ever discussed, or is it all these shows?
We should probably start using cue points or something similar for this.
Yeah, I'm just curious because really, like, if we were designing, given the same parameters with tools, we could put this on time code and pre-visualize it and really just come in and focus it. Honestly, it would just be, and when I say focus, it would just be clean up focus. And but did you guys use capture or?
Yeah, we used capture.
Right. And the next question is, in terms of, again, it's hard to collaborate in general. It's really hard to collaborate with other lighting designers. But the color choices didn't seem specific or story-driven or iconic or coded in any way to help us. The color just seems sort of random to me. But do you want to talk about that a little bit? Was there an idea with the color? I didn't perceive it, but if there was one.
Yeah, our goal was to mostly base it in like more saturated, like blues, purples, reds, and then have like stabs of like warm whites and oranges occasionally. We really wanted to draw from like the arcade aesthetic of like these games projecting out like lights and kind of translating that into the entire rig. So that was mostly our idea, and kind of giving ourselves the freedom to explore the different colors as if like the games were changing and whatnot.
Great. Okay. Good.
One thing on that level is, if you're going for bold colors and stuff like that, go for it. Mm-hmm. All blue, all red, all orange. Don't be timid. You know, I would tell you, go watch some Taylor Swift videos. It's really, really well done. No, but it's this kind of music, right, and done on a grand scale, and it's really, really well done. And so that's what I'm just saying is like, go for it. Go for bold. You don't go small.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to ask, so Ed, how did you, I'm going to guess, let me just go out there, you remember the original of this music stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how was it for you? What did you feel you could bring to it, knowing the original? You've grown up with it your whole life. Bring to it.
What could I bring to it?
Well, you were a fan.
I grooved out on it. I very much appreciated what they did. Not as familiar with the modern technology, obviously, because I had a light show when I was in my teens, okay? It was the psychedelic 60s. But I made all my own equipment, and it was nothing like this. This is just so awesome.
But in the first version of it that I think that Jules did, I think had like a liquid light show to this. So this absolutely is from that same era and stuff. I was just looking like emotionally what you could bring to it, and you know, having had a history with it, were you able to help them say, you know, bring something to it from that perspective?
No, they were pretty good on their own. They really were. I thought of time coding it, but we really haven't been taught that, so we didn't go there.
Totally left my head. Sorry.
Hi. Real quick. Hi, Kat here. I was, you used the white spots kind of speckled in the beginning, and then later on you did the same kind of idea during the intermission. Were those the same lights, or did you switch which ones you were using? Kind of when you had white beams shooting down from the top. I think it was one of the Macs in the beginning, and then you used the Best Boys.
Yeah, we started off with the auras as our pinball idea, and then we transitioned to the Best Boys and the VL washes later on.
I feel like it was really strong when I saw it during the instrumental side of it. And I think those lights did a much better job of conveying that idea, and I would have liked to see it throughout the whole time frame.
Yeah, I think for us, like those were definitely like our favorites, and we definitely agree that we found our footing like a little bit more during that musical break. But I think our intention was to, in the hopes like build up to that moment and kind of give like the audience a little taste of the pinballs. But I agree. I think after seeing it twice, especially, like it was much more effective. With
the instrumental felt strong. Yeah.
I'm not going to say much because you guys have done a brilliant job critiquing this, but I will say I don't think these footlights were your friend. I feel like the reason everybody responded viscerally to the final moments of the piece is because you got rid of them. They tended to flatten everything and reduce depth of field. But I think everything that this panel said is spot on, and I appreciate all those comments. Yuki?
Hi, I'm sorry I came late, but when I came to the theater, I felt the excitement of music and movement lighting from your job, which is really amazing. I was so glad to get here before the end. And only one thing I wanted to say is that when you light the audience, which is the beautiful beams I experienced, I wanted to see the performers a little bit more better. So you can control the intensity, that kind of moment, so then we can boost up the excitement, whole entire stage and audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think it's Alyssa's turn now to weigh in.
Hi, everyone. I had a really fun time with this team. They were the last team to go the first day. I have some comments about them that are general to every group, and then I will do some that are specific to them. One is that every group did a really good job of coming prepared with timing. Every group gave me really specific follow times like 0.13, 0.26. This is a time of 0.09. Every single group did that, which I really appreciate. They would apologize and say, oh, and it's like, no, that's what I want. That's very good. And every group came with a plan. But every group also didn't give me labels. I labeled every cue myself. I don't know if once I started labeling, you all let me do it because I was doing it. And it might seem silly in a cue in something like this when we're moving so fast to not label, but crucially, a lot of you would say, hey, grab the color we were using before. Well, before when? How am I going to know that if we haven't labeled the cues? So I labeled it myself at what we were doing, but if we had labeled it crash or verse, you can just say, well, look at that verse, and I can go look at that verse and take it. Or when we're running for the first time and maybe the numbers are wrong in the book or we get off, I can catch us up by the labels. So we don't necessarily have to label every cue when we're moving fast, but getting labels in are super important. So that's a big note I would have for everybody. For this team specifically, I would say you were definitely well prepared. You walked in with a plan. You immediately told me the name of the song. You got me really excited about it. You were excited to collaborate with me. You started off by asking me if I wanted channel numbers or system, just I can turn on the moving lights. Do you want the best boys or the mythos? And I appreciated that. And I told you that you were fine with just giving me the names of the lights. I like that. So I really liked that you used me as a part of your team. I think we had a little bit of miscommunication with effects, where sometimes we'd get caught up in like, well, maybe 2 or 3 versus we really meant to talk about positive versus negative space. And once we got into that vernacular, we moved a lot faster. But I think when you came in on your second day, you did a good job of looking more at your systems, playing with the lights, and getting some of like the beam effects out of the quantums. Things like that. And I think you did a good job of managing your time. You were one of the groups that didn't finish the full effect, the full cue list on day 1, but you're the group that got 2 runs today. So you did a really good job getting your cues done and taking the feedback of, hey, these follows where we're cueing out every single pinball hit with a cue and a follow and a cue and a follow, we can't make it. We're gonna not make the next cue. You're willing to cut that and put an effect in. And I think that's really flexible and really well done. So overall, it was great. It was a fun time, and I think you used your time well. That's what I have.
Well, we could go on, but we have to get on to the next group. So group 2. Or I guess it's group 2, is that's who's going next. just came back for a week.
Yeah. Do you have time to get dinner after this?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
You're welcome.
Okay.
Come.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can maybe chat a little bit there.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's an old man Rafferty, so it's right next to
Familiar. Oh, Cat might know.
Yeah, I said we have the end of
Hi.
year.
Just moved yesterday.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Yeah. So I'm learning
I got.
how to live there right now.
Hello. We have everybody ready to go? All right, so group two, why don't you guys go down the row and introduce yourselves? You want to start?
Hello, I'm Riley. I'm a third-year lighting designer and also one of the PEs, and I'm from Bridgewater, New Jersey. Oh no. Hello, I'm Maya Strauss. I'm a second-year lighting designer from Baltimore, Maryland, and I use she/her pronouns.
I'm Maddie Cleland. I use she/her pronouns, and I'm a first-year lighting designer from Edison, New Jersey. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Mel Tchaikovsky. I'm a first year, and I'm from South Orange, New Jersey, and I use she/her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a first year lighting designer. I'm originally from Malaysia, but I reside in Princeton. Yeah, that's all right, I think. She, her pronouns. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I use she/her pronouns. I am a third-year stage manager, and I'm from Sacramento, California.
Okay, so on stage currently, we have Maya, Bailey, Humsany, Rachel, Aaron, Matt, and JT, and we're waiting for Adina as our lovely Mormons. Oh, sorry. Our spot-ups are Jack and Ben. We're doing Hello from the Book of Mormon. Sure. So, yeah. So, the Book of Mormon is a musical that is very satirical, unserious, basically about these group of Mormons who get sent to Uganda, and it's very silly, and it's also the underlying like social commentary, but we clung to that like satirical, unserious, because this song is not the first song, but it comes directly after the like prologue part. It's about just like Joseph Smith and like the history of Mormonism. So this is right after that, and this is the first time that we meet the characters that we're going to be spending the whole show with.
Yeah, so I think because this is our introduction to our elders, we wanted to start with a very bold intro. I think also this musical, you have to, we really wanted to capture the tone of the piece. It doesn't take itself too seriously and is not necessarily demonizing anything by any means, but it is a commentary on religion. And so with some of the looks we created and the journey we go throughout the piece, we did want to dive into these bold images and kind of lean into what the song is referencing. And I think, yeah, we can talk more about it after you guys have seen the piece. But is there anything else that we can do to provide more clarification for context or our take on the piece? Or does anyone else in our group have anything to add? Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Hello, my name is Elder Price, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book. Hello, my name is Elder Grant. It's a book about America a long, long time ago. It has so many awesome parts, you simply won't believe how much this book can change your life. Hello, my name is Elder Green. I would like to share with you this book of Jesus Christ. Hello, my name is Elder Young. Hello, did you know that Jesus lived here in the USA? You can read all about it now. Hello, in this nifty book, it's free. No, you don't have to pay. Hello, hello, my name is Elder Smith. And can I leave this book with you for you to just peruse? Hello! 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 I'll just leave it here. It has a lot of information you can really use. Hello. Hi. My name is Jesus Christ. You have a lovely home. Hello. It's an amazing book. Bonjour. Hola. Ni hao. Me llamo Elder White. Are these your kids? This book gives you the secret to eternal life. Sound good? Eternal life with Jesus Christ. It's super fun. Hello. And if you let us in, we'll show you how it can be done. No thanks? You sure? Oh well, that's fine. Goodbye. Have fun in hell. Hey now, you simply won't believe how much this book will change. This book will change. This book will change your life. This book will change your life. Hello, would you like to change religions? I have a free book written by Jesus.
No, no, Elder Cunningham. That's not how we do it. You're making things up again. Just stick to the approved dialogue. Elder, show it!
Hello, hello! My name is Elder Cunningham, and we would like to share with you this book of Jesus Christ. Hello! Hello! Hi-ho. Just take this book. It's free for you and me. You see, you simply won't believe how much this book will change. This book will change. This book will change your life, so you won't burn in hell. You're gonna die someday, but if you read this book, you'll see that there's another way. Spend eternity with friends and family. We can fully guarantee that this book will change your life. 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 The Book of Mormon. Mormon.
Great job. I enjoyed a lot, and I felt your love in lighting and love in music so much. And one thing I want to say is that if you want to dance with music using light, maybe you need to learn more tempo very precisely. If you go 1-2, 1-2 with music, study music more, the speed of the tempo, you can find the BMP really easily nowadays in the internet. So let's go with the beats precisely. So then the lights goes with music more sharply. Hit with the beat. I think that's the only thing I wanted to have more from you. But great job. Thank you so much.
That was terrific. Really, really great. Couple of things. Your description, when you talked about that it's silly stuff. Well, so funny, but we have to see it to get the joke. So I thought that the beginning, once you're into the ensemble, it just lost their faces. And again, it just goes back to, it's a cliche to say, bright for comedy, but it's kind of true, and all of these people are doing individual things. So unless there's a spot pickup on all of them all the time, like the Doors were terrific. That was really great. And then once you broke into the ensemble, I just wanted to see their faces to laugh along with it. But the rest of it was really terrific. I thought all of your ideas were really good. The color was good, and the cueing was really good.
I could add something real quick. It was, I think if that was one of the things, if we had 5 minutes, I think we would have gone back to the beginning. It was intended to have spot pickups, but we just, I think in queuing, we prioritized finishing the ending over having more runs to get those spot pickups. So it is queued that there are spot pickups, but we've had just some swaps with the cast and not enough runs with our spotlights. But I think I appreciate that note. It was the intention for that to happen, but I don't think we executed it in the correct way.
But also, even if you were doing this with a local one crew, that would take a really long time to get that down. So again, it's like a prioritization thing about how much time you have, right? Like, that's like 30 spot pickups. Well, you could have the best spots operators in the world and they still wouldn't get all of those in this amount of time. So.
Yeah, I would agree with Michael on that. First of all, local one follow spots might be able to do that. Right. No, I'm kidding.
Not the first time.
Not the first time. But because those pickups have to be so sharp and crisp, and because it is a comedy, right? It's the face that tells the story, and you need to show us the focus. So it's really important as the camera operator, we have to, as an audience, you have to move our eye around. Otherwise, we lose track of it. And then when we lose track of the faces, we disengage, and you dilute the experience. So there's a responsibility here too. But I would urge you next time, and I don't know how the rig is set up, but I would have just put 2 or 3 moving lights in the front of house and done all of those off a button push. They're standing on spike marks. You know where they're going to be every single time, because we've all in the past come in from a production meeting the night before that says they're going to do this tomorrow morning, and you hang 12 lights and you focus them. Like, that's the expectation, that everybody gets a follow. And you know you're not going to be able to do that with follow spots the next day. It's just not going to happen. So, but because it is, remember, musical comedy, and I think that's all, we probably all have sort of felt the same thing. But anyway, great job, and it's a fun song. It's a great song.
Hi. Congratulations. I think you did a great job in setting the tone that you mentioned in the beginning. I really, really appreciated how you were very restricted to your color palette. So we started with one color palette and slowly opened it up as the song continued. That was very successful. And one thing that I think after the opening of the song, it became a little bit less sculptured, a little bit washy. I think after they moved from their designated squares, maybe that part needed a little bit more attention. But overall, I think you did a great job in breaking down the song and understanding, where to make a shift, where to respond to the song, and etc. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think this was exceptionally well done. I agree with everything that everyone has said so far. There was and part of this, I think, is also like it's not just in the real world setting. It wouldn't be just your responsibility. There would need to be some staging conversations as well. But for instance, when after everyone's left all the doors and they're doing the circle around and we still have individual lines, like that can just be one single front light down center that people are passing into as they're saying their line, like that sort of idea. But way to stick the landing. And then I think, if I had another pass at it, you would probably want to do a few timing adjustments. Like Josh Gad's line felt a little severe to me for a moment that is so stupidly funny. That was a little dramatic. You might want to revisit that. But I think just really well done on the whole. For a very, very difficult song that's going to kick off a musical where I have to know where to look. That first 30 seconds accepted.
It was very, very clear to me that you guys knew where you were starting and knew where you were ending, and came in with a plan and how to utilize the lighting to add to the humor of the story and hit certain beats, and I really appreciated that.
Bing, you sure?
I have a quick question because I've just spent the majority of my year doing follow spots for a bunch of.
These two are a recent alum.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Colleen. I'm Colleen Doherty. I was a grad student here. I'm very curious about, like, for all the groups, how you guys are structuring your follow spots in your songs. Like, is there one person in your group who is in charge of, I don't know if you go as far as, like, making follow spot paperwork and somebody's calling the spots and how you're teaching all of that? Because if I were in this group, I probably would steal those reins and like maybe spend time working with one person, whoever's on the spot ops, like teaching them that maybe while the rest of the group is doing something else. If doing follow spot pickups for each of those cues is something that you're like really locked into. So I'm just curious for all the groups in general, like how you guys are doing all your follow spot things.
Yeah, I will say I ended up doing the paperwork for it. I wish I had gone back and like, again, if we had 5 more minutes, if we could relook at this, I would have done it, I think, very differently and spent more time with them. But as far as, like, we built some cues that were just for follow spots, turning them on and off, like recognizing where the lines were in the song. But just for the sake of time and like working on this, it's mainly just like a written out sheet or like a Google document that we printed out. But I think that would be something, we do tend to have a designated person. Each group tends to, but it's not necessarily because we all really want to design as well. It's hard to like say, okay, you just focus on the follow spots, but it is like helpful. So it's kind of hard, like, I definitely spent time focusing on design and trying to pick up follow spots, but I think, obviously it's done differently in the real world, but it's a hard way to balance. But we all tried to take on, like, having one person on taking notes, having one person on taking blocking notes particularly, one person like looking particularly at color. But it is because we're all lead designers, it makes it harder to only like hone in on that one thing and lock in. But there is typically a designated person in each role.
Are the follow spot people someone in your group, or are you guys separate from the group?
It's all volunteers, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were they there during your queuing time?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
they did get that time frame
Yes.
as well. That's great.
I think Ken's right. I mean, for those kinds of pickups and that level of precision, you really need a front of house truss. No problem, right, Josh? Shall we do it again? Yes?
Hello, my name is Elder Price, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book. Hello, my name is Elder Grant. It's a book about America a long, long time ago. It has so many awesome parts, you simply won't believe how much this book can change your life.
Hello, my name is Elder Green. I would like to share with you this book of Jesus Christ.
Hello,
my name is Elder Young.
Hello,
did you know that Jesus lived here in the USA?
You can read all about it now.
Hello,
in this nifty book, it's free, no, you don't have to pay.
hello.
Hello, my name is Elder Smith, and can I leave this book with you for you to just peruse?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'll just leave it here. It has a lot of information you can really use. Hello.
Hi, my name is
Jesus Christ.
You have a lovely home.
Hello.
It's an amazing book.
Bonjour.
Hola.
Ni hao.
Me llamo Elder White.
Are these your kids?
This book gives you the secret to eternal life.
Sound good?
Eternal life
With Jesus Christ.
is super fun.
Hello. Ding dong.
And if you let us in, we'll show you how it can be done. No thanks?
You sure?
Oh well,
That's fine. Goodbye.
have fun in hell.
Hey now.
You simply won't believe how much this book will change. This book will change. This book will change your life. This book will change your life.
Hello, would you like to change religions? I have a free book written by Jesus.
No, no, Elder Cunningham. That's not how we do it. You're making things up again. Just stick to the approved dialogue. Elders, show it!
Hello, hello! My name is Elder Cunningham, and we would like to share with you this book of Jesus Christ. Hello, hello! Just take this book. It's free. For you, me. See, you simply won't believe how much this book will change. This book will change. This book will change your life, so you won't burn in hell. You're gonna die someday, but if you read this book, you'll see that there's another way. Spend eternity with friends and family. We can fully guarantee that this book will change your life. 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 The Book of Mormon. Mormon.
Other comments, follow up?
I'm about to get really nitpicky, which I think is a demonstration of how great this is. But so, like, for instance, not only do we need to see faces in the beginning, but you've done a really great job of timing these boxes up with the doorbells, but you've also chosen to start them when someone else is speaking. And so you don't always necessarily need, like, there can be an event there that doesn't have to be like, you know, box up, box up. It can be like a slow build of all the boxes. It can be at a much dimmer level. Just like think about that as you're thinking about where you want us to look, balanced with what is going on musically, is another way of approaching that it might be worth investigating.
Yeah, definitely our thoughts behind that, I agree, our levels could have been a little bit better. But we thought with the doorbell, it's like somebody going up to the door and waiting for somebody to respond, and then the light comes up on them, their front light comes up when they're speaking to whoever is at the door. But I agree, we decided to do an effect for like the doorbell, so each door gets a ding dong, and so they kind of come out a little bit. But I agree, I think they probably could have come out a little bit more for those who weren't speaking as their box came up.
Right. Because even that event, you've got someone talking over here and a light's coming up down right, and I'm immediately, my eyes going down right because something is changing down there, even though the person up left is still talking.
Just not to follow up with Bradley saying, when they're in all the boxes, and then right before they break into the circle, and there's people talking, but just like trying to get the follow spots to pick people up, you also have to take them out. So there was a gal down left who was in the follow spot and somebody else was talking. You know, so it was like, that was doubly the issue because now we're not seeing the new person talking, but we're still looking at somebody who's not talking. So it would have been more successful even if that follow spot just went out. Don, do they have the option to, because you guys are also, you have to think of it like you're producing this event, right? So you have four of you working on it, or 5 of you, I'm sorry, 4 or 5 of you working on it. That's a lot of people. There's only one programmer. She's only got 10 fingers. So did you have the option to have somebody to just be a spot caller? You know, I mean, that's very common, particularly in Europe, that they have people that are just spot callers. And that happens on rock shows and TV shows all the time. So was that an option?
They can organize the workload any way they want. I mean, yes, it'd be great for each of them to have an opportunity to design, but we'd be here till
Right.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, that like, you know, because you're doing it, you're producing it as a group, right? It's like divide and conquer. And again, like if you're gonna end up working on Broadway, there's plenty of people here will tell you that, oh, my second assistant or my third assistant just dealt with follow spots.
It's the first job you'll get.
Right. Other than Vectorworks, that's the first job in the theater you're gonna get, so.
No, I think it's a good point. I mean, I think if you're using follow spots, I know everybody wants, I still think whoever is in charge of calling and tracking follow spots can still participate in the design process. I think it's a really good point. I mean, if you're going to use follow spots, there has to be a level of precision and care and detail that you would apply to any other aspect of the design. It's equally or more important. I think that's what everybody's saying. And Colleen, that's what they like.
I do want to add, yeah, we, like regarding the spotlights, I know we did have like some casting issues, so I think some of our actors were fresh, and I don't know for that one spot that was on, I think it might have been correct, but it might have been like the actor didn't know it was on them. I think we probably didn't communicate as well as we could have with our actors and with the people on stage, timing again. I think also like divide and conquering, I think that would have been something that would have been solved with us dividing up the work. But I think there was we spent a lot of time like all trying to design together. You know, we had multiple calls. But I think fine-tuning and picking like one person to represent the ideas of the whole group, I think was difficult. But again, I mean, we produced a successful product and I'm really proud of us. But yeah.
The one thing I did want to say was I think seeing this the second, again, I think the biggest thing would be going back to the beginning, and because it did feel we were too hot on everyone all the time. But so I appreciate all the commentary that was given. Even nothing, you can't solve everything with the follow spot, so understandable. Yeah, but not. Yeah.
Great job, Kayla, by the way.
Yes.
Turned it off. So I'm going to do the general comments I have that apply to the other three groups, which is along the same lines of the label, which is, besides Pinball Wizard, none of you told me the name of your song. I guessed it. So while you were one of the most collaborative teams, bringing me into the process with you, I figured out pretty fast you were doing Book of Mormon because hello is a pretty big sign. But knowing what you're doing will help me help you, right? If I know what your goal for a cue is, what your goal for a number is, I can help you achieve it. So starting off with, I know that you don't have much time and you have a lot of things to manage, but knowing that is going to help me help you. And then this is actually, the spots are a great point. This is a note for everybody. Most of the time, even though we were turning, when to turn them on and when to turn them off came from the teams, most of the times I was saying, hey, what size do you want? What color do you want? So that again comes from having someone to track that, right? Otherwise they would have just been big blobs. So that is something to think about, right? Spotlights are really important. So again, and then there were moments in teams where it was like, oh, we want it really tight, or it came in on day 3. But definitely that was something where, because there weren't many runs, we didn't get a lot of time with the spots. So that was just a general note for everybody. With this team, you all were very collaborative starting in the begining. You came in with the plan, again, lots of timing, which was really great. But you would definitely be like, what do you think? Do you think this looks good? Which was really fun. You did a good mix of, giving me a channel number when you wanted a specific special, or being specific about what you wanted, and then saying, the overhead best boys that are on, which I appreciated. We got my favorite comment of the entire time, which is, can I show you what I want the effect to look like with my hand? Which is my absolute favorite thing. So good job, because that is the best way for me to know what you want. More of that, please. So good job with that. I thought that you guys really pulled it together today. Up until today, I was worried about your time. You didn't get the color in for the first half of the song until today. So I think there was a little bit of hardship with time management, but you came in with the plan today and you really pulled it through. So I think, overall, I think it was a lot of fun. But I think you pulled in the time management today. But there you go. Thank you.
Well, let's take a 10-minute intermission, and we'll be back with the other two soon. Thank you so much. 15.
Yes, I'll take it with me.
It is a choice. It was a choice for me.
Thank you, Kim.
And you're on the Northeast Corridor, so you can get anywhere.
I can get DC, I can get New York City, trucks. So that's kind of the reason. But also I feel myself best in New York because of NYU community, friends, library, theaters. So I have a room in New York City as well to go back and forth.
Yeah, well, we drive down to my mother's house in Baltimore once a month. So every time I go by, I have to miss. I mean, I think of it as like people would go on vacation there. Yeah, like they would go out on like in their boats on the water. And, like, I've never heard of anyone living there.
I'm coming down and around. Just so you know, follow spots have not changed since I've been here. It is the day of Texas.
my nickname is Yuki because I'm half Japanese, Yoshi. My grandmother's name is Yoshina. She grew up in Osaka, and so Osaka is my hometown. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I thought that was really funny because I saw a list about the thing and I saw Yuki and I was like, that's my nickname in my family. I just thought that was funny. Yeah.
Okay. We are going to reconvene. Group 3. Please. So, when you introduce yourselves, turn around and face the panel, the distinguished judges here, please, and tell them all about yourself, and then we'll move forward from there. I guess one of you is going to be talking about the piece, I hope.
Okay. Hi, I'm Matt Angulo. I'm a first-year lighting student. I'm from Scotch Plains, New Jersey.
Hi, my name is Rachel Goldberg. I'm a third-year lighting designer from Montclair, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a first-year lighting designer from Fairfax, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Bailey. I'm a second-year lighting designer, and I'm from Roxbury, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Kush. I'm a senior double majoring in criminal justice and theater arts.
All right.
Hi, I'm Carol Young. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from Fremont, California.
All right, so we are doing Revolting Children from Matilda. Caro is our stage manager. We also have Lily as our costume designer. And Annie is our deck crew. Can we get a round of applause for Annie, deck stage manager? She's killing it right now. All right, on stage we have Maya S. She is our Bruce. And then we also have Maya R. Mel, Liv, and Abby as our general ensemble. All right, and then just to kind of go over the piece a little bit, Matilda is a story about elementary school children. The main character, Matilda, is a brilliant, wonderful little girl who has these superpowers, and she can kind of control things with her mind. And they're all just very, very creative and brilliant children. And in this school that they are in, they have this terrible Miss Trunchbull. She's the headmaster, and she's very abusive and very kind of wicked. She's like a wicked witch. And so this number, Revolting Children, is kind of towards the end of the show. It's the big 11 o'clock number. And at this point in the show, the children, right before the song starts, have just kicked Miss Trunchbull out of the school. She is gone forever. They have defeated the evil. And this is kind of them breaking out to live as children and get their world the way they want it.
So our approach to this song was starting in that, rigid school uniform, British kind of world with, fluorescent lights, overbearing and very strict. And then as we continue through the song, we move into this world that these kindergarten children, these beautiful 6-year-olds, want to make and would create. So yeah.
Never again will she get the best of me. Never again will she take away my freedom. And we won't forget the day we fought for the right to be a little bit naughty. Never again will the chokies or slang. Never again will I be bullied down. Never again will it doubted when my mummy says I'm a miracle. Never again will we live behind bars. Never again will we know we are revolting children. Revolting times, we sing revolting songs, using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the Trunchbull bolting. We're revolting. We are revolting
Okay, I mean, I'm just impressed by this cast of lighting designers and designers. They have a lot of gifts, what can I say?
Really fast, sorry, before we start the critiques. It was, we were off for part of the song, and I'm sure that you could tell. So we just want to apologize for that in the beginning.
Have anything else you want to add besides that before the panel weighs in?
Say more, because that might be instructive as to what I say next. What do you mean by we were off?
So we got off about a cue before they came downstage. When they came downstage, the footlights were supposed to go up into the amber, and it was that isolated look. We had double hits for a lot of the first words, which then continued to go off incorrectly. And for the final REVOLTIN, I can't spell. For their final, when they were spelling revolting, I believe it's the FR10s were supposed to go REVOLTING. It is too late for you. We are revolting in a swipe. So we got back in for basically, I think it was the last 15 seconds where it was correct.
Should we just watch it again then?
Is that okay, Don?
Let's do that.
Ignore everything you just saw, and we'll do it again.
It's the Men in Black thing.
Oh, we're waiting for a follow spot operator who's on a bio break. You ready? Are you running follow spot? You good? Okay, we're good. Take it away.
She asks me
Not a good start. Okay, are we ready?
Never again will she get the best of me. Never again will she take away my freedom. And we won't forget the day we fought for the right to be a little bit naughty. Never again the choky door slam. Never again will I be bullied and never again will it doubted when my mummy says I'm a miracle. Never again will we live behind bars. Never again will we never be revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the trunch ball bolting with revolting.
Okay, now do you have anything to add?
I will add there was one pesky light that was on for 1 cue longer, and I am sorry about that as well. But anyone else? I feel like I'm a bearer of bad news, so I'm not trying to do that. I'm so sorry.
Anything else about context? Anything else the judges need to know that may color their response?
We were really just trying to create that fun children look in the end. So just giving them a burst of color and go from that. If you're rebelling against your parents, what do you want to do? They're rid of this big villain, and they're 6, so they're just gonna go crazy. And we just wanted to show that with the ballyhoos and our floor effect and stuff like that.
Okay, so the first 10 seconds of this number look incredible with the way that those that mythos blue and that backlight was so awesome, and then it went away, and I was like, oh, bring it back, and just let us my main note for this number is let us sit with some things longer. I have the benefit of being able to see the cue list, and it's giving me a panic attack, and I think that which is why I said say more when you got off, because I'm not sure you structured this number in a way that sets yourself up for success. It's the story of these girls in this room, and I had a hard time following them for a lot of the number. I saw all the cool punctuation stuff you were doing. I even saw what it was supposed to be doing had it been correct, but I wasn't watching your performers. I was watching the back wall, or I was watching these lights. So I desperately wanted more of the beautiful simplicity of that opening, and just being allowed to see the performers.
Something that I would add to this, I think for me, I had a hard time also following where we are in this, storytelling. That's something that maybe starting with something more defined as a classroom, and then we sort of walk away from that sort of help us to understand the structure of the music and the arc of the music. So from getting something literal that is in a classroom, going to something emotional in the story and responding to the children's energy in the room, I think that probably would have been something that could help us to follow the story a little bit.
I completely agree with what you just said. And to that end, you have the luxury of creating this light plot. But if you noticed, you can't do downstage in terms of side light what you can do upstage. So all the storytelling is lost as soon as they broke out of that center circle. But I see that you hung these 2 proscenium booms, and they never came on. And that's a cheat for this number. The footlights really didn't help you at all, because they just open up the space and you lose any sense of focus or specificity. But you can control that. So just be careful about that in anything you design. That you can't do an idea downstage that you can't do upstage necessarily. And that's why, as designers, you fight for the space architecturally, and you have to know that. You do that looking at your computer or standing at your drafting table. And I just wanted to flag that. But I thought the structure was good. I think that you probably, Bradley said it too, you overcomplicated it. But you certainly hit all those beats. But again, I didn't experience the joy of this song because I was just focused on what was happening around everybody. So again, you've got to reveal the text. That's what the producer's expectation is, and the director's expectation, because that's what the audience's expectation is. So you're always, 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 as a lighting designer, yes, you have to do all that stuff you wrapped around them, and you did it brilliantly, but you've got to reveal the text.
Yeah. Technically, the proscenium booms are not part of our plot.
Yeah, the proscenium.
Well,
but they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Then move everything upstage.
Right.
I think that's Ken's point. Yeah. Don't blame it on the lighting decision. No, I just you're in charge of the staging, you're the choreographer, so you move it upstage.
Right. I mean, that's part of collaboration, right? It's like if you can say to a choreographer, you can say to a director, I don't have anything right there. Can we just push it upstage a step or whatever? You can absolutely do that. That's, it's a team sport. And speaking of a team sport, and I'll go back to the follow spot thing, again, you have to remember, right, we're in a theater, and the difference between theater and film and television is the audience is sitting here and the stage is there, and that relationship doesn't change, right? In film and television, they can cut, and they always cut into these close-ups. Well, we have to tell the audience where to look. And that's the reason why, we've brought up follow spots so much, is because it's a big tool in our toolbox is follow spots, right? And so because we can't do a jump cut with a camera, we can tell the audience where to look, and the follow spots are one of the best things for that. And so I thought, again, in the opening, and by the time we got to the gal who's on the whiteboard, she was totally in the dark, And again, and I would say, I know that you're doing this all really quick, but with this amount of people, divide and conquer, absolutely. And I'll say, have you ever seen the Tony Awards? Have you ever seen the Academy Awards? Have you ever seen the Grammys? They don't get a lot of cracks at it, right? When they're doing those shows, they go together very, very quickly. And I guarantee you on all of those shows, there's people just calling follow spots. So you're not less of a designer if you're just getting the follow spots right. So I think that's maybe something to reiterate going in the future is with this amount of people, divide and conquer. And if you can call follow spots well, you will get more work later. I guarantee it. If somebody calls you and says, I need somebody to call follow spots, I can tell you on award shows, right, there's 3 people. There's a spot caller, there's somebody who's doing the backlights that you see on camera, and there's somebody doing the key lights. So there's 3 lighting jobs right there. So you really you should know how to do all of them. I just say really quick, the color at the beginning, that green, I know you said you were going for a fluorescent look and stuff, but with the costumes, you could have just gone steel blue. Would have been fine, but it was just why is that there? Without any scenery to reference it and stuff. So, and the last thing I'd say is there was sort of what Bradley was saying about you just want to see more of it, and it with the kids and bright. There was in the middle of it, there's a guitar groove that you totally captured, and the guitar groove keeps going into the next verse. So the lighting should have kept going, and you should just add it to it, because that's what the orchestration was doing, right? There was a guitar groove, something else was adding to it, so the lighting should do the same thing.
Well, talking about team sport, I admire your collaboration because what I saw on stage was very clear what you want to do in each scene. Okay, this is the backlight scene with crisp shadow. This is the color scene. This is the side light and make more sculpture on the body. Each scene was very clear what you want to do, which is amazing. You made this decision with all of you because probably one person said, okay, this has to be side light. No, this has to be backlight. This has to be pink. No, I want to do this. This has to be green. Easy to be a fifth fight in this group, but you made a choice, strong choice with the group, which was amazing because theater is pure collaboration with everyone in the theater. So you did amazing work on that. One thing I wanted to comment is 2. One is the performers on the chair. I wanted to see more their figure. I wonder the footlight can use that scene. I wasn't sure, but where the hotspot of the footlight is, but you have a great background being lit, so maybe you can sneak in a little bit to make there a little bit more visible, that scene. And then second one is, if you choreographed, right? Then the performers are doing this. And that means choreographer is trying to invite the audience to the movement. You have a lot of great lighting system. You can point at the audience that point and invite everyone in the movement. Maybe you could add that. But overall, it was amazing work, and congratulations. Thank you so much.
I'm going to say one other quick thing just along those lines about the audience and stuff. These seats in front of you are the most expensive seats in the venue. So you have to be really careful about leaving lights parked right there. It's one thing to sweep through the audience, which was right before the point where you're talking about. You did but they were kind of on for a little too, like if you feel like the audience is gonna start going like that, you're really gonna lose them. So it's fine to go through, but you don't really wanna stay. And then I totally agree with the choreography. When you're asking for the audience to clap along, that's the time to do an audience ballyhoo or something like that.
This is actually for all the pieces that we've seen thus far in terms of the follow spots, is the whole point of having a follow spot is that it moves. And thus far, most of the use of those lights has not been to follow someone, but it's rather been just to illuminate someone who's standing still. And I'm pretty sure there's a button somewhere that turns the ground control piece off and just lets you use it as if it were a front of house truss or a static moving special, or some combination of words like that. But like, use it as front light if you need to front light something. Don't make your poor follow spot operators do 25 pickups and moves and pickups and moves. If it's just, I'm here at 3 left, I'm here at 6 right, in a time 0, it's not a unitasker. So for next time, just keep that in mind.
Something that I'm recalling from way back in 2017, my very first time doing this project. Trauma. But I did the song that Wednesday sings from the Addams Family musical, where she realizes she's in love for the first time, and the title of it is escaping my head. But it was this same idea where by the end, she's like, whoa, I'm in love. And like, it's like this whole fantastical thing. And the thing I got slapped on the wrist about was all of a sudden having all of these components come in, like color, gobo, things like that, that I didn't lay into the groundwork of the song just going into it. And so I thought your comment about like by the end you want it to be this whole like rainbow fantastic kids world, and that's really fun. And I think maybe something that would be interesting to see if you did this again is, okay, so now by the end of the song you've got all this stuff laid in that you haven't seen before, so how could you break those components down and go back through your piece and slowly introduce all of those different puzzle pieces, and even in like ways that are in the world of like the adult world, so that we can really see that transformation happen, because it's so much by the end that would give you a lot to play with to build up to it. So that in like a storytelling idea might be really helpful.
Do you want to see this again? Because I guess the first time we really weren't looking at it, right? We have time. We can see it one more time. Yeah, I think we should give everybody their due. It's clear that I guess I'm not making excuses for our classes, but we work ostensibly in a very small space, and we don't pay much attention to follow spot technique, and clearly we need to focus more on it. No pun intended. So yes, let's see it one more time.
we won't forget the day we fought for the right to be a little bit naughty. Never again. The choky or slang. Never again. Will I be bullied out? Never again. Will it doubt it when my mummy says I'm a miracle? Never again. Never again will we live behind bars. Never again now that we know we are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the trudge for bolting. We're revolting. We are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the trudge for bolting. We're revolting. We will become a screaming horde. Take out your hookey stick and use it as a sword. Never again will we be ignored. We'll find out where the chalk is stored. For rich pictures on the board. It's not insulting, we're revolting. Look at us, PL, how we like. If none of us are wrong, wrong is right. Everyone N-O-R-T-Y. 'Cause we're a little bit naughty. So we got to stay inside the line. 'Cause we disobey at the same time. There is nothing that the trudgeball can do. So you take our hammer and then say, you didn't think you could push us too far. But there's no going back now. R-E-V-O-L-T-I-N. Revolting time! U-S-I-N-G. U-S-I-N-G. R-E-V-O-L-T-I-N-G. It is too late for you, we are revolting. We are revolting children, living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs, using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done. It is too late for you. We are against gentlemen.
Any other comments? I just wanted to say one thing. I usually try to not say too much, but just looking at it this time around, the color journey through the space it felt a bit schizophrenic to me. I just didn't understand. First of all, your kind of white reference, the white light, is very green and not particularly sympathetic to skin tones. And I feel like these are young kids. The song, is very celebratory, fun, warm. It's got a lot of heart, and we want to love these kids, and it feels very kind of somber and toxic. I mean, I'm getting a little extreme, but there's something about that color that I felt was off. And then sometimes you mixed purple on top of that pale green, it was sort of an undercoat at a very low level, so you could see it on the clothes, and it didn't make, I didn't understand the connection and the through line. So next time, really remember, every color choice you make, it affects the storytelling, and it affects the way we perceive the number, and we perceive the people on stage, and either subliminally or overtly.
Yeah, I think your color choices probably could have done with some editing. I also think, like, if your stated goal is to capture the joy here, and I felt more diabolical scheming than joy, based on not only the color journey, but also just the angle. That low side light is very shadowy, and it's not uninteresting, but it is not something to me, and obviously all of these are very personal and subjective opinions, that doesn't read joyful to me necessarily. So just think about that.
Yeah, I think that something that, just in response to that, that we did want to highlight here was we wanted to establish them in this like oppressive world, and so that's something that we were trying to go for in the beginning, so that we could more effectively build out of that world. I think that was particularly difficult for us because we got a little lost in our colors specifically and how to carry back through. So if we could go back and change something, definitely the color journey is something that we would want to clarify. Yeah, I think we had established, we wanted this cool white side light to kind of cut through the entire song, mostly for visibility. But I think that oftentimes, in contrast with everything else we put on the stage, it looked a lot more like a specific choice than just supplement. And we could have found a more effective way to do that.
I have one thing after I watched this for the third time actually. Responding to choreography or staging, I think it's something that lighting should be aware of that so much. Like, we have an important storytelling element, the whiteboard or blackboard on stage, and when it flips, I feel like there's an opportunity for lighting to storytelling to do something visually more interesting, that because it conveys something in the story that flip lighting can highlight that a little bit more, I think.
I have a question. Who made this preset? Beautiful. And the reason I ask that question is it embraces the architecture of the space, and it also really emphasizes and takes into consideration the second psych, which is the floor. And everybody, one thing that we've seen so far is there's not a through line or an idea, a visual texture, or it's even a storytelling element, I think that someone mentioned before. But I think it's really important to just look at how interesting this space is right now, because this is probably one of the more interesting cues that we've seen so far, and that's because the floor has been acknowledged. And especially when you're in a theater like this, and even in a Broadway house, it's your responsibility to go upstairs or an arena situation, and the people upstairs get to have the same experience as the people in the orchestra. So even though you might have been addressing the horizon or the sky or the background, and you have to go upstairs and also address the psyche for the audience upstairs, which is the floor. And so none of these numbers so far have had a floor idea. And I just wanted to it's not a criticism, it's just something that as designers we have to lay in there, because it always has to look beautiful on stage. It always has to look beautiful or interesting, right? And dynamic. Otherwise, that's where the artistry comes in. That's when.
Were your cues off this time? Yeah. Okay, so we saw it 3 times, twice the cues got off. So you have to then say, okay, what do I need to adjust? You can do the greatest lighting possible, but if they can't call it, it doesn't matter, right? So that's a real lesson of like not overdoing it. And again, the structure of this is fairly, you know where the one is all the time. It's definitely verse, chorus, verse. It's that sort of setup. So does it really need to get overly complicated? And by making it overly complicated, because also you're going to get to opening night and then let's hope this thing runs. But if they can't call it 2 out of 3 times, right, there's an issue there. So.
It's almost there. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. It's a great book.
I have something to add. From the non-professional lighting person in the room, I want to echo what Bradley said earlier. Watching this cue list has given me such anxiety. God bless you for even attempting to call that.
I'm not sure it's ambitious as much as it's just, like, I think the ambition is fine. I want to hear Alyssa talk about how it was structured and how maybe she would have structured it differently.
There is an old saying, it's called less is more.
So that's the first thing that I've been thinking as I've been watching this piece. The second is I love all the hits that are there. I feel like you've spent a lot of time getting those hits in. To Mike's point for Tommy, I think they could have been bigger. This is an extremely chaotic song. And I think that there could have been a lot more to get that going. The energy towards the end felt a lot better than the beginning. I almost imagine it as watching little kids whip themselves into a tizzy. Like, it doesn't just happen. It builds and builds and builds until finally they have just unleashed chaos into every kindergarten in the world. I wish I had seen that build a little bit more. And then my last thing is, there's such a nice button at the end of this number that I just missed. Every time I saw it, I was like, where's the beautiful button at the end of this number?
Hi, friends. First of all, I want to say thank you for your collaboration, and your excitement and ambition was catching, and I had a lot of fun with you. I also want to say you have 180 cues. 180, which is crazy. It's a lot. A good portion of those cues are in the follows that are restores from your pops. And that's something for everybody. When you do those kinds of pop, 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 restore, 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 restore with not consistent timings, you have to cue all of those things. That takes so much time. As all of you saw, most groups tried to do that, and all of you saw how long that took. That eats your time. And that takes a lot of planning. And you came with the numbers. You had the numbers. You knew exactly how long that took, and that's impressive. But that took a lot of our queuing time. And then because we didn't run it when we came in, we didn't discover until we ran at the end of the day that we can't make the time. We didn't make it through those cue sequences in time to hit go when it was called. It wasn't that they weren't called in the right place. It was that I couldn't take the cue because we weren't ready for it. So I was going through them, and the reason you saw 3 different times was because I was in 3 different places. That's what happened. And I know we looked at that, and I think there was an attempt to solve it today, and we just didn't have the time. And that's the kind of thing that when you have tons of time, you can solve it. But in this kind of environment, you just don't have the time. And so my recommendation for this kind of thing is, on the first day with previs, get a basin, do your whole thing, don't do those pops, you don't have time for them. And then when we have the time, let's go back and put those emphasis in. Because they just are such time eaters, you don't want to spend all your time on those, and then, oops, we didn't finish because we couldn't do it, and then we didn't run it and realize it doesn't even work in the first place. So that's what happened, but that's, I think, such a valuable learning experience, and something me as a programmer discovers too, because I get very in my head as, no, I want to make it perfect, the timing isn't right, we gotta work it, we gotta work it. Well, if it doesn't even work, then, why did we do that, right? That's something that we all learn. So that would be a thing. I would say you are the group that thought about follow spot color, which I was like, that was great. And yeah, you came with all the numbers. I think it was hard, the communication about how and where the follows went. Like if they went on the queue before or the queue after, that's a thing to kind of learn how to communicate where the follow goes and like the total time overall. Like communicating the math on that made me had to kind of think again where it actually went. But overall, I could tell you really cared and you were really excited, and I think that's what happened, is you wanted to emphasize every point. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Good work. And now the last group. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. We're group 4. We're doing Hair from Hair, the titular song. I'm Zoe Scotto. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm majoring in dance and theater. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Piscataway, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Levy. I am a second-year BFA. I am from San Francisco, California, and my pronouns are he, him.
Hi, my name is Abby Sorrell. I'm a first-year lighting designer. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from Basking Ridge, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Yoshi Grasso. I'm a first-year BA in Theater, Arts, and Gender and Media Studies. I'm from Newton, New Jersey.
Hi, my name is Elia Rostolder. I'm a second-year stage manager from Mahwah, New Jersey.
Awesome. So we want to talk a bit about the history and like context of our number. So we're doing Hair, which is wildly popular. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the concept. It's a concept musical. It deals with this hippie tribe in the late 60s when the Vietnam War really started to take off, and it deals with Claude and Berger and Sheila as their primary protagonists who are sort of grappling with the sex revolution, judgment from parents and society, and specifically with Claude's struggle with either following like the pacifist beliefs of his tribe, which are very anti-war, and also like the expectations of him as a man in society, if it's even right to undergo like going to Vietnam and serving in the army. So we chose more of a fun number from Hair because there's a lot of tragedy in Hair. And this is the middle of Act 1, which is crazy because there's banger after banger in Act 1, and it like doesn't stop, actually. Hair just doesn't stop. So I got the honor to choreograph on these lovely people. They're working so hard. We had 2 rehearsals before this, and our choreography really, like, I think helped shape the lighting language that we set up. We wanted it to be vibrant. We wanted it to be free. We wanted it to be liberating. This is like the one moment in the show where they kind of get to tell the audience what their whole shtick is about, what hair means to them, how integral it is to their identities, and how it sort of is the common thread through this whole group is their hair and their identity and their togetherness. So if there's anyone else wants to add. Oh, right, introductions, sorry.
Okay, so we just want to, so our actors on the stage, Valentina, Mary, Matt, Jess, Joe Frank, Paige, Jamaica, and Nat. So those are our actors.
So Joe Frank, he's gonna be our Berger, and Paige is gonna be Claude, and then the rest of everyone is the tribe.
Yeah, and then so we want to thank our stage manager, Elia. She's amazing. And then our costume designers, we have 2, actually, Jess and Mary. They did a really great job. So, and our spot ups, Adina and Chloe, you guys are amazing. And Zoe choreographed this entire thing. So we want to thank Zoe too, because she put so much time and effort into it. Okay.
She asks me why I'm just a hairy guy. I'm hairy noon and night, hair that's a fright. I'm hairy high and low. Don't ask me why, don't know. It's not for lack of bread, like the Grateful Dead. Darling, give me a head with hair, long beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, steaming, flaxen, waxen. Give me it down to there, hair, shoulder length or longer. Here, baby, there, mama, everywhere, daddy, daddy, hey. There ain't no words for the beauty, the splendor, the wonder of my hair. Blow it, show it, always I can grow in my hair. I want it long, straight, curly, fuzzy, snaggy, shaggy, ratty, matty, oily, greasy, fleecy, shining, gleaming, steaming, flaxen, waxen, knotted, polka dyed, twisted, beaded, braided, powdered, flowered, and confetti, rainbow, tangled, spangled, and spaghetti.
Oh, say, can you see my eyes if you can?
Then my hair's too short, down to here, down to there. I want hair down to where it stops by itself. They'll be gaga at the go-go when they see me in my toga made of blonde, brilliantine, biblical hair. My hair like Jesus wore it, hallelujah, I adore it, hallelujah, Mary loved her son. Why don't my mother love me? Blow it, show it, always I can grow in my hair. Blow it, show it, always I can grow in my hair. Blow it, show it, always I can grow in my
I want to see this production. That's all I can say. Keep going. Keep going. No, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think that like we were really trying to like move forward, like lighting to choreography and like really trying to accommodate the choreography we had. Obviously, it helped that our choreographer was with us throughout the entire process and gave us something that was so wonderful. But yeah, I think that because we were aware of the fact that like in reality, our job is to kind of adhere to what's happening on stage and like respond to that. That was something that we kept in mind throughout the entire process.
Yeah, just like exploring that relationship, I think was just really eye-opening and something that we really focused on. So, yeah, it was like, thank you, Zoe. Like, yeah, it's lovely. Okay, do you guys have any? Here, you want to say something?
I do. As for our color palette, which is something I think we should really mention, something that we really wanted to do is we really wanted to push those bright, saturate colors. We really just wanted this piece to scream late 60s. Like, we really just wanted it super fun, super in your face, psychedelic disco, like all that kind of fun, super good vibe.
Cool. Additionally to color, I feel like a driving force in our group was like almost like heat exhaustion. Like they're set in, and we wanted it to feel like sticky and almost grossly colorful and hot. And that really is the power and like, I don't know, what fizzles in hair is like that heat and like grubbiness, I want to say. So, yeah.
I mean, well done on all of that. Special shout out to your dance troupe. Special shout out to your choreographer. Incredible. I mean, you can see how much easier it is when you have bodies and space to light and you're not trying to invent it out of whole cloth. So you guys got very lucky in that respect. I thought your color journey was clear and consistent, and I was with you the whole way. I thought your use of space and lighting the floor, finally, as Ken was talking about, like, yes, we had the second psych. I have like a couple of nitpicky things or some questions about some of the timing and the cueing choices, but like on the whole, really well done, really great work.
I agree with Bradley. It was really cohesive, and I think it really starts with the fact that you really understood what this play and what this number in particular was about. The storytelling was something that was clearly in your soul, and you had an emotional response to this piece, and then you presented it on stage beautifully. I thought the palette was perfect, really perfect, and specific, and really captured the essence of the 60s like you wanted to do. I felt transported there. I think that it really lent itself to the music. The color and the music were definitely in harmony. And I also agree with Bradley. There's some nitpicky things that you could get into, but the overall arc of the storytelling was really, really excellent. And I know it was because you felt this in your soul. I had one criticism, kind of spacing it out right now. Maybe it'll come back to me. But anyway, I was really taken by it and very moved. And the simplicity, even in its complexity, it made it easier to appreciate and observe and enjoy as an audience member. And I so appreciate the ambition of the group of four of you who wrote 180 cues, because if you do the math on that, they had 180 minutes to do that. But this was sort of, it just fell off the bone, right? And you saw that with the audience's response. And coming out into the audience and engaging the audience and lighting the aisles was, a great detail, and a detail you understood that you had to get, so that's where you put your time. So anyway, really, really well done.
Yeah, compliment you on the simplicity. I think that's really comes through, and also that era and that music is meant to be organic and stuff. And the other thing I just have to say, Alyssa, can you grab the ground row and do a rainbow chase? Watch how fast this happens. All right, but watch. Alyssa, make a rainbow chase, go. All right, but I'm just saying, but you have all of this incredible technology that can do this. I mean, she didn't know I was going to say that, but look at how fast that was, right? So I felt like that kind of thing was sort of, that's the only thing, I just wanted to see that, right? It's just like visual eye candy, and everything else was there. And just look at it, look, that's nice and subtle even, but that would just be one more layer of all of this technology you have here that it took her all of 10 seconds, and she didn't know it was coming. You know what I mean? So, but look, I just think you guys did a great job, and again, simplicity really works, and I felt like I could see everybody. I knew where to look. Really good.
I agree with every comment here from your masters of lighting designers here. And one more thing I missed was the colors of costume and the colors of the hair. They are beautiful costume and beautiful colors of hair they have. Sometimes I say from the front photo spot, I think, but I wanted to see more with your beautiful choice of colors. And one more thing, I may be wrong, I want to know from your point of view as well, the strobe effect. Thinking about late 60s, I felt a little bit softer on and off, could be, but maybe just me.
Well, here's a question. What were you going for with the strobe?
It sort of came to me in a dream. I was just like, I just like really loved, I don't know, it just popped up in my brain. I was like the visual of like what that moment, it's like such a like intense moment, because then it's like, it like pulsates and then it breaks out into this dance break, and I just really liked the idea of like seeing hair being flown around in like a strobe effect, and I really wanted to see how bodies like reacted to that light.
Okay, so here's what was missing. I totally get what you're doing. Should have turned all the other lights out. If you want to see that, a 60s strobe vibe, you need to turn all the lights off and only the strobes on. And that's what, because that's how you get the choppiness of, especially if people are flinging their hair and stuff, like that's what you're trying to see, is like the hair goes boom, 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 like that's your eyes. So you have to kill everything else on stage. That's how you get
Understood.
that. That's how you get that
I
effect.
agree.
I did want to ask, why was the 6th electric at that trim? Why was it there? What was that choice?
Yeah, I think that decision was motivated. We wanted to trim it a little lower because twofold. I think, first of all, we were really thinking about having the audience see it and be able to see when it was doing different colors, which it does do. And also because when we trimmed it at about there, it was very easy to aim it for just the backs of people's heads so you could see their hair.
I just wanted to add to Mike's thought about the strobe. Not only, I think the other piece that I was missing there, because that was a moment of not confusion for me, but made me think about it, it was missing the explosion out. Like it was more of a restore than a really like boom. And the music is building under that. So what I was missing was the build of the strobe and then the explosion out. So you had half of it, you just needed the other half. And then like another really, again, this is amazing that we can be this nitpicky. But like your Star Spangled Banner bump out, which is great. You don't need to restore all the way back because that theme comes back in like 4 bars later. So think about how you can mix where you were with that moment so that you do like a partial restore and then you can get back into the song as opposed to making it happen too early. Like stuff like that's the kind of notes that I have on this piece now, which is great.
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm an alumni of this program. Fantastic work, great choreography. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. Like you said, Don, I want to see this whole show. Great work. Really, really enjoyed. Something that I was noticing, and I want to look at it again as we hopefully see it again, was I felt like parts of the choreography were kind of inviting you to move things around maybe a little bit, and like maybe that's also kind of a personal choice, but you have all moving lights, and maybe there's a world where you can move them a little. And thinking back to a couple moments, like there was a great moment where the ensemble tracked from stage left to stage right with the group in them, and it's like I was kind of wanting, it doesn't mean you have to dump out everything on the stage, but I was almost kind of wanting things to move into that space and kind of follow them and be part of that story with them as they're moving around and dancing. But really great work. That's, like Bradley said, a really nitpicky thing, and thank you for sharing that with us.
We have the second
one. I'm Maz. I'm also an alumni very recently. I think that there were moments where I really love what you guys did, and it was super fun, like everyone said. I think there were some moments where I was seeing some like hits on beats try to start coming in, and then they just sort of like faltered out and fell out, or there was a couple moments where I was wanting like more of a push or more of an event with the music that I was missing. But I do think it also sort of made up for itself with how much was happening on stage already. But like I was seeing the starting of ideas that I don't think were fully fleshed out, and I would have loved to see them sort of come to life a little bit more because it was all super fun, and I was excited to see what came next.
Yeah, I can add just a little quick something. Hi, I'm Helena. I'm also a recent grad. I really, really love this one. I feel like this is in the Light Lab Final Hall of Fame a little bit. I think it was really, really successful and like a really significant message about how coming in with like really strong design ideas and like a cohesive through line and like very specific color choices, even if you don't have like 1.5 million cues, like that's really a great strategy to go about it because this was really cohesive and strong in its simplicity, like everyone else has been saying.
Do you guys want to see your strobe cue with the lights dumped out that needed to be dumped out? We were talking about it. Yeah.
You guys mind going to the strobe? Yes. Love it.
Do you guys want to update that into this? Okay. Maybe you should ask the cast on stage if they want it updated. Okay, so let's do it again. I do want to say that one thing I didn't mention is that I think it's clear to everybody now that we just don't have lighting designers in this group. We have directing students, people who are more theater generalists, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean we have a very rich, kind of diverse group of people with a range of interests, which I think makes the whole experience for all of us, lighting designers especially, more successful, deeper, and more interesting to have alternate voices in the room. So all of you other students out here who are not in Light Lab classes, I encourage you to try to fit it into your schedule. We'd love to have actors, costume designers, stage managers, anybody who wants to join us in this. It makes the whole thing better. Clearly, this is an example of that. Okay, so let's do it again.
She asks me why I'm just a hairy guy. I'm hairy noon and night, hair that's a fright. I'm hairy high and low. Don't ask me why, don't know. It's not for lack of bread, like the Grateful Dead. Darling, give me a head with hair, long beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, steaming, flaxen, waxen. Give me it down to there, hair, shoulder length or longer. Here, baby, there, mama, everywhere, daddy, daddy, hey. There ain't no words for the beauty, the splendor, the wonder of my hair. Blow it, show it, always I can blow my hair. I want it long, straight, curly, fuzzy, snaggy, shaggy, ratty, matty, oily, greasy, greasy, shining, gleaming, steaming, flaxen, waxen, knotted, polka dyed, twisted, beaded, braided, powdered, flowered, and confetti, rainbow, tangled, spangled, and spaghetti. By itself. They'll be gaga at the go-go when they see me in my toga made of blonde, brilliantine, biblical hair. My hair like Jesus wore it. Hallelujah, I adore it. Hallelujah, Mary loved her son. Why don't my mother love me?
So now that we fixed the strobe cue, you need a bigger button, right?
So like this is the kind of things that happens like after you get your first pass in and you make your second pass, you discover all these other things you want to do. But I just love this number so much. Great job.
We just wanted to like add just like the collaboration, like because like this is a group project, so it's like so important. So me and Ben were just talking about when we first like heard the song, we all knew, like we all looked at each other and we were like, we're gonna do this. And like that moment, from like that moment on, like we were like kind of, we knew that we wanted to do the song and we were just all on the same page. And I feel like that collaboration part was just really important to our design and the way we executed things. Yeah.
I feel like working as a group and everyone here has such strong ideas, and it wasn't difficult, I feel like, with this group to like compromise and like find like a happy medium. And I feel like as soon as we talked about color palette, it was like we were all on the same page and we kind of all had the same vision almost. So it was really cool working with you guys.
Just something for me that it's very obvious that this is a great example of how light can help audience to where to look at it. So from the beginning, when the song started, I knew that this is the character I have to follow. And then after that, when we sort of progressed in the song, it was very clear that follow spots were pointing who I should be following. That was very successful. The other thing that I was just thinking about, the 6 electric, just as an idea, you can think about it when you have such a flexible lighting instrument in your gear, maybe that can be an architectural element in your gear, and as opposed to being this low, what if it was a little bit higher and to be sort of like a portal lighting, the twinkling lights goes along the portal. That I really enjoyed it, the way you used it. I think it was halfway through the song, there was just a twinkling idea. So I thought it was very successful and could have been something that you could kept it, throughout the song. But overall, beautiful, really beautiful work and collaboration. Congratulations.
I agree. I think that was outstanding work today. It's such an honor to be in the room with such great theater makers. And really big shout out to the stage managers, lighting designers, love you. And also the costume designers, well done, really well done. Very good storytelling, and I'm sure your budget was zero. This is the last one, right? I just want to say to everybody that you should go see Bradley King's work in Elephants in Water. It's a beautiful production, beautifully designed. Seriously. Great. So it's really terrific, and see a lot of theater. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, I echo everything Ken said. Really great work, and we're in this right. We're in the theater because we're team sport players. None of us are tennis players or golfers. We're all football and baseball and softball, right? That's what we do. We like to work with other people. 2 little quick things and seeing it a second time. Joe Frank is wearing all white. And when we start at the top, we're looking with again, going back to follow spots, but we know where to look. But then as soon as he stands up and the follow spot comes on him at full, I'm looking right at him. The follow spot could have come up at half. And then as he crosses in, and there's another cue right there when he starts singing, then it could have come to full. That's a very minor thing, but just wanted to say that. But really terrific. And also, what Bradley brought up about the red, white, and blue number, and that it comes right back. And one thing you could do is bring it back in a snap and then fade it, right? Because then you know exactly. That's just part of the storytelling. Then you know exactly where it's like with piccolos or something like that. Right, so, but great work, and congratulations, everybody. And I will just say, everybody tonight, call mom and dad or whoever put their faith in you to send you to school for an arts degree. You owe a thank you to them. No, it's a big leap of faith on their part that they have that much faith in you to send you to college to be in the arts. So that's part of your assignment. Everybody call and say thank you to your mom and dad.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. And I keep falling in love with lighting and theater arts. And then today is another day I fell in love with theater arts with you. And thank you so much for having me here with your great work. Thank you. Congratulations.
Just one last thing, which is you are so fortunate to have Don Holder as your professor. Yeah. He's a master person and a master lighting designer, and we all of us, I know, will agree, have been influenced by his body of work. So, absorb everything that he says.
Right back at you, to everybody.
Hello. Hi. It was clear to me that y'all had a plan. You were the first group, which meant that you had to deal with the fact that even though I prepped, I didn't have a ton of prep time. So there was a little bit of, oh crap, which fixtures are these? And so you had a bit of a disadvantage that we had to deal with getting things ready. But you came in with a plan, and something that was really effective was even though it was clear that you were all a team and collaborating and supporting, one of you talked to me on day one. Ben, you communicated with me on day one, and we rocked through the cues and we got it all done. It was very clear who was talking to me. It was very clear what I needed to do. And I think that was a really effective strategy. And you were all like keeping tabs on him. You were looking at your books. You were saying, wait, I thought we said this. And you were making sure that you were working together. But there was still clear to me who I was supposed to be listening to, which was helpful for me to know what that was, right? So that was really helpful. I will say that something that I think could be helpful for you was one of the things I said was, hey, by the way, I built a rig magic sheet for myself. If you want to bring it up, you're welcome to use it. And I don't think you did on the first day. And even on the second day, I put it up, and I don't think you were really using it very much. And I think that's the kind of thing that you should learn to incorporate into your tools if you can, because sometimes when we were working together, I would say, hey, by the way, those two lights are doing the same thing, and they're different colors. Are they supposed to be? And they weren't always supposed to be. And if you, sometimes there's a lot of stuff in the air, you don't always see it. That's something that looking at a magic sheet, you could easily see. And in previs especially, that's pretty helpful. I did think that you were giving me numbers, which is totally fine, but it was less collaborative with me. So you were all collaborating together really well. We were less collaborative, but you had a plan and you wanted to get through it. So you didn't have a ton of time, and I totally understand that. So it was clear how excited you were, how much you wanted to get through it. You really rocked it out today as well. So job well done. And I also want to say, stage managers, y'all killed it. That was like, you guys, easy to follow. Like, good job, all of you. So anyway, thank you all for having me. I had a lot of fun, and I hope it was fun with you too. So I hope you're all very proud of yourselves, because you should be. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Alyssa, so much for being here. And I mean, I have to thank everybody in the room. I can't thank everybody individually, but I want to thank all of you guys for coming, all the alumni, all these amazing judges, and everybody here, I mean, all these people in this row, they're all masters of their craft, and all these alumni soon will be. I'm really proud of you all. The students did a great job, not only making the work, but also making this whole event happen. We couldn't have done it unless everybody pitched in. And thank you, Josh Karp and PRG, for supporting this project. And thank you to everyone in the room who came here to support the students, including, and I want to also give a shout out to our staff, our lighting supervisor, Emrys, and Emrys' assistant, Nick. And thank you all. It was an amazing afternoon, and it wouldn't have happened without each and every one of you. Have a great day, or rest of the day. Be well. Thank you.